for joining me live. And yes, thank you for the introduction, Lizzie. I am the CEO and founder of Digital Yoga Academy, online business school for yoga teachers worldwide. And I've really been supporting teachers now for the last 6 years to grow profitable online businesses. So this is really the key part. It is about being online and really getting yourself out of the studio model and, you know, creating a business that you can call your own. So I'm really happy to be here. My background is actually in marketing. So that's what I did from university. I went into a 15-year marketing career, and during that time found yoga, and yoga became a way of life for me. And it was inevitable, I guess, that at some point I would do my teacher training. So I went along and did that, became a yoga teacher, decided I wanted to share that with the world, and set up my yoga business. I was running yoga retreats for a number of years. And really, when I did my teacher training, I saw the gap. You know, there's no business education for teachers. And with that being my background, I wanted to also create something where I could support teachers to have success in their own careers as well. So that's how Digital Yoga Academy was born. And now I focus solely on that. My mission is really to support you to be able to share yoga further, right? So together we can work together really to be able to support people around the world to benefit from yoga. So I would love to hear a little bit from you. And I do love these sessions like this to be interactive. So please do use the chat. And I'll probably be asking you questions throughout. So just get in there and you know, share what's coming up for you, share where you're at in your business. And so with that, please do let me know in the chat what your yoga business currently looks like. Okay, so are you just starting out? Okay, perhaps you're a new teacher and you want to learn how to grow an online community. Ultimately, you want to learn how to make money from teaching yoga. Perhaps you've been teaching for a while, but without any kind of real strategy. Okay, and maybe you've been focusing, you know, teaching in studios. Perhaps with COVID, you had a little dabble with, you know, getting online, and maybe you've kind of gone back to the studio model, but it's not working. Okay, so we know that, you know, in order to, we know the challenges, right? If you just focus on teaching in studios, and that's your, you know, your main source of income, you end up, you know, having to teach maybe 20 classes a week to be able to pay the bills at the end of the month. And of course, that can really result in burnout. So tell me where you are, what's resonating with you right now from what I'm sharing. And if you have been teaching for a while, maybe you have already transitioned online. What does that look like for you? Okay, have you been running classes? Maybe you have an online membership. Maybe you've rented a community hall out or a space and you've been running in-person classes. That's the route that I went down when, you know, I started teaching. So let's have a look. Alunda just starting out. We've got some new teachers here. Hello. Let's have a look. Amy, been teaching a few years in-person studios. Gyms, but I'd really like to have an online piece. Yeah, exactly. So this isn't saying that you have to move to, you know, teaching online. You can still teach in your favorite studios, right? You can still do that and have that in-person connection with your students, because of course, that's what we love. However, having this parallel, like having this vertical, in your business, that's an online piece, right? That's you kind of taking charge and thinking, okay, I'm taking control of my business here because I want to create something that's, you know, repeatable and scalable. That's what's going to allow you to be able to teach yoga for years to come. Okay, wonderful. Teaching for 20 years. Perfect, Lisa, lovely. Weekly online class for the last 3 years. Yeah, I would like to develop passive income as well. Okay, so this is where, you know, really focusing on growing your community. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today, and looking at how you can convert people into memberships or online courses that are evergreen, you know, that you've got people coming in, you've got people coming into your community, automatically going through this funnel. Okay, so that might sound a little bit over the head, but that's essentially what you'd be creating to make that passive income. Okay, so it's all possible. It's all possible. Brilliant. So regardless of, you know, where you're at, you're here today because you're ready to get yourself online and you're ready to make that impact in the lives of people all around the world, because that's what the online space allows you to do. You know, it opens up beyond your local, you know, your local vicinity where you live. Actually, now you could reach people in Europe or even in Bali. You know, you could reach people all around the world. And importantly, it's about being ready to go beyond the drop-in class. Okay, and by that I mean the drop-in class that could be, you know, a student coming to your community hall in-person class, but also coming to your Zoom drop-in class. When we start looking beyond the drop-in class, okay, and maybe that's what you've been teaching up to now, we can actually start to offer something to our students where they can work with us on a deeper level. You know, you can work with your students on a deeper level and you can start to provide real transformation. Okay, and that's really what the world needs right now, you know. So being able to step up as a yoga teacher and actually support your students in a much deeper way. I think everyone's here today because you want to be able to make a living from this. Am I right? Give me your favorite emoji. If you want to be able to do this for years and years and years to come, you know, we're not doing this just for the month of June, right? We're doing this because we want to create something that has longevity. And this is the thing that you love to do. So you want to be able to do that for a long time. So give me that, your favorite emoji, if that's you. But there's a problem, isn't there? And I've already touched on it. You know, teaching just in person, teaching just the drop-in classes doesn't set you up for that. You know, it doesn't set you up for this financial stability, really. And tell me if you're struggling with financial stability right now. Tell me if that's you. And there's no judgment here, okay? We're all here in this Zoom room to learn, right? We're here to learn. So this is a safe space where you can share and learn. But tell me if that's something that you're struggling with. And yeah, I'm here right now to support you with this. So that's why you're here, to be supported and really to learn some new skills today that are going to help you to set up a foundation that you can build on. Okay, so you can start learning how to create this financial stability. Yeah, lots of yeses, absolutely. Don't be shy, guys. If that's you, do share. And you know, how to create a bigger impact with your teaching. This doesn't happen overnight, okay? It takes commitment, it takes consistency, it takes really showing up for yourself so that you can, you know, break through the fears and the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. And maybe you relate to that. You know, is there anything right now that you feel is holding you back? Would anyone like to share in the chat? Anything that you feel is holding you back? Any fears? A classic one, a classic fear is the fear of visibility, okay? The fear of success, yeah, is a good one, right? Because that's actually linked to visibility. You know, the more successful we are, the more we have to show up, essentially. You know, the more pressure we have on us to create the transformation that we're promising for people, right? Any other fears that come up? Imposter syndrome, yeah, fear that you're not good enough, okay? So especially online, right? You know, we see so much online and so many things that other people are doing that sometimes we feel like we're falling behind, and we can't do what they're doing, or maybe we see something that we want to do and someone else is doing it and it's like, oh, well, it's already been done now, but it's not being done in your way, so spreading myself too thin. Yeah, it's a classic one as well. Letting others down, failing. Okay, so it's not easy work being an entrepreneur. And essentially that's what you all are. When you became a yoga teacher, you also became a business owner. And they don't teach you that when you do your yoga teacher training. And so, it's challenging doing this on your own. And quite often you feel on your own, you kind of put out there and it's like, who's supporting you? But it's when you do have support, it's doable. Okay, it's not easy work, which is why we need the support. And I wouldn't be here where I am right now and the business that I have without support from coaches, mentors, but also without a real belief in myself and what I do. And that comes with time. You must really believe. You've got to be like 100% sold in what you're putting out there. You've got to have real belief in what you are offering, okay, is going to really support your students and that you're not letting others down, right? And so you have to trust that process, and it takes time. So this is just the start, right? You're taking the first steps right now. And in this masterclass today, I'm teaching you, I'm going to teach you, you're going to learn a 3-step process, a 3-step framework to be able to launch yourself online as a yogipreneur. And I'm going to walk you through this. Okay, it's a simple 3-step framework that when you follow it, it allows you to launch yourself. It allows you to grow a sustainable business. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to grow a sustainable business. It's going to help us to teach for many years. And yeah, okay, are we ready? Are you ready, guys? Get rid of any distractions, because I want you to be here with me now, okay? Any distractions, your phone, turn it off. So, your business can really help you achieve so much, yeah? And, we can't expect that, we're going to be able to build a business and it's just going to be a walk in the park. We're just going to have it handed to us, this thriving business with a thriving community. You're building your own business and it's going to take time. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of grit. It's going to take learning. Okay, so it's nothing to be afraid of, because we have to think about the end goal. Ultimately, there's a lot of learning, and you as yoga teachers, you're great at that. Like, you are great at learning new things and then putting those things into action. And so you have to trust yourself to go on this journey, but it's really your ability to see your business as this learning journey, right? And being able to continue to move forward, being able to keep taking the actions and taking the steps as you learn, okay? So today you're learning the first steps. So these steps are, I'm going to tell you the 3 steps first of all, and then we'll go through them, okay? So the first one is creating a solid business foundation, okay? And then the next one is build your online community. And then the third one is serve your online community. Okay, so we're creating solid foundation. We're building our online community, and then we're serving the online community. Okay, simple steps. These steps have a number of actions, okay? They have a number of strategies within them, okay? And I'm going to talk you through these strategies today. Okay, are we ready? Let me know you're ready in the chat. So step 1 is to create a solid business foundation. So I like to think of this as the root chakra of your online business, right? It's essential that you really build strong roots to grow from, okay? So this is about getting into alignment. And it always starts with you cultivating your mindset for success, okay, so that you can break through the limiting beliefs, okay, some of them we talked about already, those things that have been holding you back. Okay, so we work on our mindset, and many of you will be working on your mindset. This is part of your daily practice. However, we start to look at it from a business perspective, from an entrepreneurial perspective. So any other kind of thoughts? We've talked about it briefly already, but is there anything else that you feel could be holding you back? Any limiting beliefs that are holding you back? Okay, maybe it's your relationship with money, okay, that's keeping you in this scarcity mindset. Okay, this can be a really big one. It's so common. So tackling these things, the visibility fears of being online, on, talking on stories, of doing things like I'm doing today, these things, we have to tackle them. Like it's key to our success. And, you can cultivate your mindset, with the right tools and the right practices. It's an ongoing job, right? Because this is about showing up as a leader, right? It's about showing up as a business owner and making decisions that might feel scary, doing things that feel scary and uncomfortable. I'm doing something in my business right now that feels scary and uncomfortable. So, every time this doesn't really go away. It's just that we start to deal with it with a greater level of sophistication, right? When the things come up, we're like, okay, I recognize this. I have the tools to push me through and to get through to the other side. It's about, pushing through your comfort zone, essentially. And that happens as you move through this journey as an entrepreneur. As you level up, new things come up. And so you're not just showing up now as a yoga teacher, right? You're also showing up as a yogipreneur, and that's a very different mindset. It's a very different place to be. Yeah. So it requires different skills, requires skills and knowledge that you can learn, which is the great thing, right? It's the great thing. And so, if you compare it, this is how I like to compare it, just to kind of really make it clear what we're talking about here. But if you compare your mindset you compare the mindsets of an employee versus the mindset of an entrepreneur, an employee in a business makes very different decisions, shows up in a very different way than the business owner, right? The person who owns the business. So it's about training our brain to really do this, okay? Because likely right now, you might be showing up as an kind of employee, right? Maybe you've worked previously. In fact, tell me what's been your previous career, your previous profession. Maybe you're still in that right now, okay? So maybe you've got a 9-to-5 and you're doing this as a little side hustle at the moment. So you're very much in this employee mindset, yeah? And this is about making the transition now and to start seeing things in very different ways. So cultivating our mindset is a key part of creating this solid foundation, which is, of course, step one, which we're talking about, and making decisions that business owners make. Okay, so it also requires you to make decisions, this step that we're talking about right now, about your business and your goals, right? And so this is about business planning, right? Planning for your future success. So tell me if you've done anything like this. Is anyone here a planner? Has anyone here been working, on a spreadsheet, putting some ideas down about what you want to create in your business and maybe creating a little project plan? Yeah, so for some of us, this can feel very natural, and for others, it can feel quite alien. But it's a key part of creating this foundation. And something we can all do, right? All of us can do is really tapping into our vision, right? For where you want to take your business. So does anybody want to share what their vision is for the future? Have any of you thought about this? Where would you love to see your business 5 years from now? What does that feel like? What does it look like? You know, this is exciting stuff, you know, to really sit with this and think, oh, where am I going with this? Where do I really want to take this? Who do I want to be serving? What transformation do I want to be offering my community at that point? Who am I going to be as a yoga teacher? You know, what is that going to look like? You know, it's exciting to think about that. And, you know, when we have a vision, we can start to create some clear goals. Okay. So 2 essential goals, and write this down. 2 essential goals to have. The first is a revenue goal, okay? A revenue goal. And the second goal, essential one, is a community growth goal. So any ideas? Do any of you have any ideas of this for the next, let's say, 12 months from now? So in this next 12-month period, and we're halfway through 2023. How did that happen? But 12 months from now, do you have a goal with your revenue? Or maybe you're thinking in terms of monthly revenue goal. Anyone have any revenue goals that you want to share? If we think of a 12-month period, how much money would you like to make in your yoga business in a 12-month period? Is anyone so bold to share that number with us? And remember, this is a safe space. You can share anything you like here. And what about a community goal of how much you would want to grow your community? And when I talk about community, I'm actually talking about your email list, right? I'm talking about your email list. Okay, so money isn't my main goal. So I'm guessing, Erica, your main goal is about the legacy and the impact that you want to create in the world and within your community. Okay, so if that is, here we go, exactly. I'm interested in helping and making impact on others. Yeah, I know from working with thousands of yoga teachers now that your main thing that in terms of your vision is about creating impact, right? It's about creating impact. Okay, so that's the place we're all heading towards, right? We want to be able to create that ripple effect in the world of, you know, sharing yoga with more and more people, right? That's beautiful. So, but when we're growing our business, okay, in order to sustain our business, there's 2 things that are going to happen. And actually, money is an enabler to be able to help you to create more impact. It really is. It enables you to do more things, right? It enables you to create more things, to create a bigger community, to support that community more. Okay, so what are your goals, guys, for email lists, email list growth, and revenue growth? Share in the chat. So if your goal is to grow your email list, okay, because again, that's where your community is. Yeah, they live on your list. Let's say your goal is to grow it in 12 months to 500 subscribers. That number is going to drive everything that you do and all of the activities, all of the projects that you spend time on to get to that number. And without a goal, without actually, you know, putting that goal in place, you can't really create a plan. You can't set objectives, and you can't really create kind of projects that are going to kind of help you to move towards that. So this is really essential. It's an essential part of this first step, which is about creating your foundation. And it's to engage in business planning, right? In order to create this foundation in your business. Wonderful. Let's have a look at your numbers. I currently have an email list of 1,400. Brilliant. Wonderful stuff. We'll talk about that more in a moment. Yeah, breaking even on your yoga-related expenses would be great. Yeah, balancing the cost of YTT and future trainings would be ideal. Working on a website, 100 grand with percentage going to my community projects, 400 plus subscribers. Love that. Okay, so the final part of step 1 is niching, right? We hear this word. Do we cringe when we hear this word? Tell me the truth. Does anyone have always? Yeah. I feel you. I've got you. Okay. Does anyone already have a niche? Has anyone already decided on the specific type of people that you want to serve? Has anyone already decided on this? Have you made that decision? Okay, so again, this goes back to the decisions we make as business owners. Okay, chronic back pain, alleviating that naturally. Wonderful. If you have made a decision, share what it is. Share what it is. So before we move into step 2, right, which is about building our online community, and I'm going to share some strategies to do that, how you actually do that, we need to know who it is that we're actually serving and who we're creating this messaging and the offerings for, okay, that are going to resonate with your ideal student, essentially. Okay, and this requires you, and right now you might be thinking, I want to serve everybody, okay? And of course, yoga is for everyone, right? But especially, however, particularly with the online space, if you want to succeed in the online space, you need to work out who you're serving out of that everyone, okay? So it requires you to really align with your students and your message. And so this means getting clarity, right? Who is my niche? Who is my ideal student? And when you're able to do that, when you can do that, you can create this real, magnetic messaging and branding that's going to deeply resonate with people. Okay, we've got lots of great ideas here, guys. This is wonderful. Yay, fantastic. And is anyone actually serving these people already? Are you already serving this group? Brilliant. Wonderful stuff. So we need to know, who we are and who they are. Yeah, the people that we want to serve. Like, this is a foundation for what we're going to create, for what we're going to be putting out there. Yeah. So this is about when we go through this process of like defining who we're serving, and it does have a process, right? It has a process. And when we do that, we can start to create this messaging that's really kind of dialing in to speak to those people. Yeah, to speak to those people. So let me know, have you done that? Have you done work on that? For those of you who have a clear, who have clarity on who you're serving, have you done the work to really identify and define how you speak to those people and what your messaging is for those people? Like, have you done that work? Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down with this one. And for those of you who are still yet to do this, or perhaps, are feeling like you don't want to do this, yeah, and that's okay to be feeling like that right now. You can't make sales online, okay? You can't make money online if you don't have a niche, okay? So, if you don't have a niche, you can't create messaging or offerings, okay? So they could be, an online course, they could be a membership, online workshops. You can't do those things because they're not going to resonate with anyone if you haven't got a niche. Like, if you don't have messaging and you don't have offerings that resonate, your marketing won't work. Yeah. And if your marketing doesn't work, you don't make any sales. So that's the reality. And 99% of yoga teachers out there are really resisting this. They're resisting this niching part. And of course, I ask the question, do you cringe when I say niche? And there's a definite yes that comes through. But you're here right now. Yeah, you're not the 99% of teachers. You're here right now and you're learning about this. And if you've been teaching in a studio for many years, you've never had to think about this really. Because the studio is doing the marketing. And of course, you'll have your students, your loyal students that come to you for you. but the studio is essentially doing the marketing. But when you're getting out there online, you have to cut through this noise, and there's a lot of noise out there, right? So you really have to think about this, and it's essential that you do this piece of work. This is really, and this is how I like to see it, it's about becoming the big fish in the little pond, right? Rather than the small fish in the big pond or the ocean. Okay, so if you think about the ocean being the yoga industry, we don't want to be a little fish in that, because then we're going to get lost and we're not going to get noticed. It's going to be much harder to be discovered online. Okay, so remember that you're ahead of the curve when it comes to yoga teachers who, you know, want to be more business savvy, who are entrepreneurially minded, right, and driven. You're here right now in this webinar, so you're definitely there. That's you. Like, you guys are ahead of this. You know, even if you're just starting out right now, which many of you are, you made a decision to be here today to learn about this. And not every yoga teacher is doing that. Okay, so you might be thinking, well, how do I make this work? Yeah, how do I make this work online? How do I get my message to work and to cut through? And it's really about being more hyper focused with your message and the content that you're sharing. You know, so what I see, and tell me if you see this too, what I see when it comes to yoga teachers sharing online, they share the same message in the same voice. And it usually sounds like, come to my yoga class on Wednesday at 6 p.m. It's going to help you to feel less stressed. Okay, we see that. We're just promoting our class. And, you know, we have to kind of dig a bit deeper when it comes to that, you know, like, why are they stressed? What's happening in their life right now that's making them feel stressed? So you have to kind of peel back the layers and really get to the bottom of this, so that you can go beyond that general message of, come to my yoga class so you feel less stressed. Okay, so tell me if that's been you up until now. Is that the message that you've been sharing? Is that the message you've been sharing, guys, on Instagram, perhaps? You know, it's a very wishy-washy message, right? And we see it, you know, that wishy-washy message becomes diluted because it's not really speaking to anyone specifically. It's trying to speak to the masses because the masses are stressed. So, you know, how do you get your message through that noise? You become more specific, right? That's how you do it. And when you craft a message like that, you know, the details and the specifics that really represent your ideal student, it's incredibly easy to gain their attention, like, even in this kind of noisy space. And, you know, when you know how to do that, when you know them, when you know who you're really serving, you know how to speak their language, right? And the words and the emotions that will resonate with them the most. And that is where trust starts to build, right? That's how we build the trust in the relationship within our community. And, you know, we need trust in order to make sales, right? In order to retain people in our community, in order to be able to create an impact in their lives. They're staying there in our community because we're building trust with them. Okay, so your niche is a specific type of person with a specific type of problem. Okay, write that down. It's a specific type of person with a specific type of problem. They want a specific result, right? And that's it. Yeah, so it's not enough to say I teach headstands or handstands, you know, it's like, or I teach beginners, or I teach yin yoga. Yeah, who is it for? And what is the problem that you can help to solve? Okay, that's important. Okay, so that's step one of the framework, right? Create this solid foundation. It has 3 parts: mindset, business planning, okay, and niching and messaging, right? 3 parts. This is where you need to start. Yeah, this is where we need to start. We need to get that root chakra of our business, this solid foundation in place that really brings you into alignment with your goals and your vision, Okay, and from there we can start to see who are the people that we want to serve with these goals and vision that we have. Are we feeling good with step 1? So step 2 then, let's move on. This is the exciting one, right? This is about growing the online community. Okay, and it involves some key strategies that I'm going to go through with you. And these strategies are going to help you to really grow and nurture an engaged community of students who become paying students, right? That's the key, isn't it? We want those students that we want the community members to move into our offerings with us so that we can support them. So what I want you to do with this, guys, I want you to tell me in the chat as I go through, there's 5 strategies I'm going to talk through. And I want you to tell me in the chat, which of these strategies you're currently missing. Okay, so you're just going to give a 1 to 5 and we'll do that at the end. So just note down as I'm talking through, and I will give you a recap at the end. So the first strategy is really about understanding how to consistently create content. Okay, so this is one that I know many yoga teachers struggle with. Maybe you've been putting out that general wishy-washy message and no one's engaging with it. Now you know why, right? Now you know why, because it needs to be more specific. So, you know, this is about creating content that's valuable, right? That's going to attract people into your community. Okay, so I want you to visualize this funnel, right? This is where we're getting a little bit marketing savvy. We've got this funnel, and at the top is where people are coming into our community through the content that we're sharing with them. Okay, the attraction content. And our job is to move them down through our content as well, to nurture the relationships and then to convert them, okay, into a paying student, okay? So content creation is actually one of the most challenging parts of growing your business. Tell me if you resonate with that. Are you struggling right now to create content? And, you know, often it's because we just don't know how to do it. You know, we don't know what to actually create. And if you're struggling to create content, okay, this is the great part about this from what I'm teaching you today, it's because you don't have a strong foundation in place. So it's because you missed out step 1. Okay, so this is great. We're learning now the steps that we need to take. And by that, I mean, you don't have a niche. You might have an idea. You might even be serving those people, but you haven't done the messaging part of that. You haven't got really clear on what the messaging is. And so struggling to create content is a sign, it's telling you that you haven't niched properly, okay? Because when you do that niche work, you know what topics to create content on, right? You know what to say, you know how to say it. You know who that content is actually being created for. So tell me where you're sharing your content right now. To create content well, right, you need a process, right? You need a process for actually creating the content and then also repurposing it, okay? So this is about being able to easily share your content in lots of different places online, okay? So that content creation, like when you learn about repurposing, content creation doesn't take up all of your time. And of course, it should take up some of your time. Like that's a definite. It should be a non-negotiable part of your week, right? It really should. In the beginning, I'd be spending a full day creating my content and, looking at how I'm repurposing that, for the weeks to come. So how much time do you currently spend on content creation? Do you have a dedicated time each week? Maybe it's a Monday evening or something that's dedicated to content creation and it's non-negotiable. So your website, yeah, Facebook, website, newsletter, brilliant. And I always like to see it as this, if we're not creating content, we don't have a business. And that's it, really, because our content, as I said, is helping with that funnel. It's helping to attract people. It's helping to nurture. It's helping to convert. Okay. And that's where our business lies, is our community. We're moving our community through those stages. Okay, so anyone else struggling with content creation? That's, and where else are you sharing your content? Don't be shy, guys, share in the chat. Where are you sharing content right now? What are you struggling with content? So that's strategy 1 is content creation. It's about repurposing in particular. And strategy 2 is about getting traffic to your website. So tell me if you have a website. Maybe you don't have one right now, or perhaps you have one, but no one is discovering it. Is there anyone here who has a website, but no one is actually visiting it? And you'll know this if you've got Google Analytics or some type of analytics software linked to your website, and it will tell you how many people are landing on your website. So often we have a website. Yeah, brilliant, great. Often we have a website and no one's actually visiting it, right? So learning how to actually make your website work for you, right? And by that I mean your ideal students, okay, the students within your niche are finding the website, they're visiting the website, and they're staying on it, okay? They're not just visiting it and then going off somewhere else, they're actually staying on it. So you learning how to do that is essential, really, because it's no good having a website that's just sitting out there in the interweb and no one actually visits it. Your website is actually the route to your sales funnel, okay? So you need a website and you need to be able to optimize it, okay, so that it actually does what it's supposed to do. So, you know, when you do that, when you look at that and you spend some time on your website, you'll have a website that's going to convert people into email subscribers. And as I said before, your community is your email list, okay? So this is one of the main jobs of your website, is to convert the visitors on the website into email subscribers. And it's really the first part of that funnel, okay? So you might be sharing some information. Let's say you share something, let's say you share a blog post on Facebook, and someone clicks on that blog post and they come through to your website, okay? So the top of the funnel, right? They've seen your content, they've clicked through, now they've come onto your website. And then there's on your website, it says, hey, sign up to this freebie. It's going to give you the first steps to help with your chronic back pain. And so they're like, oh my gosh, I have chronic back pain. I need that freebie. And so they fill out the form and they give you their email address. They're now in your community. You've moved them down. Okay. So it's the first part of your funnel, and capturing those email addresses so that you can nurture the relationship with them through email, through their inbox. Yeah, you can send them the amazing content that you've been creating, the new blog posts. You can tell them about your new offerings that you've launched, and you can start to nurture that relationship with them. Okay, so it's important. Okay, so that's your website. Strategy 3 is growing your email list. Okay, so getting all of that in place, getting the tools that you'll use, things like MailerLite, ConvertKit, any other tools that you guys are using for email softwares. You might be using MailChimp. Tell me in the chat if you have an email list, what email service provider are you currently using? Tell me in the chat. So getting that in place, and it's quite a simple process, right? It might sound a bit scary, but it's not. It's about having a system that links with your website, yeah? So that when someone fills out their details, that information goes into the list in MailerLite or MailChimp, or through Squarespace. Yeah, there's a system through there as well. So having these tools in place, importantly, having a freebie, right? An opt-in freebie that attracts your ideal student. So tell me if you have that. Do you have it? And what is it? What do you have? Because that part is the essential part. You know, if we're going to grow our email list, we need a piece of content that we've created specifically for our ideal student, okay? Because we've done all that work on niching, we know what the messaging is, and now we've created something that's going to help them with something they're struggling with right now. It's going to be an easy yes, right? Because we understand them. This is key. Yeah, you've got to have something that's super valuable, right? So that's going to attract the right people on your list. We don't want just anyone to be on our list, okay? So this is where, you know, having a freebie that's a general yoga class, okay? Sign up to get my 30-minute morning yoga class, but we don't tell them why. Like, why is that going to be important to them, right? So we don't kind of state, we don't have the key messaging that's going to pull the right people in, or it doesn't feel very valuable to them because they could just maybe go on YouTube and get that, right? So how do we make it valuable? There's ways to make it valuable, right? So that we can market to them, right, via email, and we can show up in their inbox with that valuable content every week. You know, once we've done that, once we've got them on our email list, we can do that. We can nurture those relationships. We can move our community towards our paid offerings. Okay, let's have a look. I have a link to a recorded yoga class, but not connected to getting the email. So definitely need to shift that. Yes. And look at, you know, what you can do to make your freebie, right? To make your freebie more desirable. So a little secret I'll share with you guys. You guys are first to know, but if you come and follow Digital Yoga Academy on Instagram or come onto my email list, I've got lots of amazing freebies on the website, digitalyogaacademy.com. Next week, we're actually launching an AI tool that's going to help you to come up with an idea for your opt-in freebie. Okay, so if you don't have one right now, this tool is going to help you. So you guys are first to know about that. Okay, so that was strategy 3. Strategy 4 is about building trust and connection on social media. Okay, tell me how you feel about social media, about Instagram, about Facebook. Maybe you've been looking at TikTok thinking, do I need to be on that? Uncomfortable. Yeah, okay. And really the reason is because of step 1, because this is about your content as well, isn't it? You know, it's about the content, it's about the visibility. Essentially, it's about increasing your exposure through online visibility. And that requires showing up with a message. And if we haven't done the work in step 1 around messaging and niching, then we feel uncomfortable because we feel like we're just showing up with this wishy-washy, come to my yoga class Wednesday at 6 p.m. message, and it doesn't feel like it's impacting anyone, right? And remember, what do we want to do as yoga teachers? We want to create an impact. Okay, so this is why we feel uncomfortable. So this is about, you know, the great thing, and we have to embrace it, guys, because these tools are free. Right? These tools that we have at our fingertips, like, isn't that amazing? These tools are free. Now we get to reach people all around the world. We get to create trust with communities online, right? We get to show up with our message in this space. Like, go back 20 years back in the day, like, these things didn't really exist, and it was so much harder to be able to reach people with our message and to be able to like create something. Now we have this amazing opportunity. So if we start to shift how we feel, okay, and this links to the mindset work, we start to see the opportunity rather than be sitting in the fear and the limiting beliefs that are holding us back, you know, from going online, being visible, connecting with people that we can support and make an impact with. Okay, so let's start to embrace it. And, you know, this is about, you know, doing the work to gain confidence initially. In the beginning, we're building our confidence. We have to get out of our own way, right? We have to keep showing up. And that's essential. You know, if I think when I started on this journey, and I've got, you know, even with Digital Yoga Academy, you know, and I've been kind of showing up as a yoga teacher with my other business, but even with Digital Yoga Academy, I can remember my first ever lives, feeling very awkward, feeling uncomfortable, you know, and the more you do it, the easier it gets. It's like anything in life, you know, it's going to get easier as you do it. So, going live on video, like this is a great example of it, because it feels very uncomfortable to do it. And it's, we need to be looking at this really. Am I showing up online or am I hiding? Because it's one thing posting, an image or posting a quote image or whatever it might be. And then it's another thing getting onto stories, doing the live videos, doing that more visible work that's really going to help you to build the trust. And the trust part is really important. That's how we build our community. It's how we make money, right? And so we need to understand that. Another way of creating visibility online is through partnerships, okay, which is strategy number 5. So tell me if you are working with anyone else right now. Is there anyone in your space, your niche space, who you are collaborating with? So this is important. Like, this is a key strategy, a key marketing strategy that's going to help you to organically grow your exposure, right? To grow your reach and exposure. And, it's about understanding how we can create those aligned partnerships and understanding how to confidently secure them, whether it's being a guest on someone's podcast, that's a partnership. Whether it's writing a blog post for someone else's website, perhaps it might be creating some giveaways, right? So with a giveaway, you can do a giveaway with a number of different partners. We've done many giveaways with beYogi. That's an example of a partnership where you're gaining exposure with each other's communities. Instagram lives, right? So doing interviews with other experts and people in your space, right? Doing summits. I've done a number of summits over the years, and they're great ways to really connect with other partners in your space, other experts, and gain huge exposure, right? With amongst each of those partners' communities. In order to grow your email list, people are signing up to that summit, or they're signing up to the conference or the webinar or whatever it might be, right? So there's many ways that you can do this. Okay, so partnerships is key, and it's one of the things, it's an untapped marketing strategy. But I promise all of you today that if you go away from today just thinking about who can I work with in my space, it's a really great use of your time, okay? In terms of really boosting your growth in the shortest amount of time, which of course is what we want to do. Okay, so I've just taught you those 5 marketing strategies, okay? And I would love for you now to share in the chat, which of them do you feel like you need help with? Okay, so we've got, and it could be all of them, that's okay. Like, if you're completely new to this, it probably will be. But 1 was content, 2 was website, 3 email marketing, 4 social media, and 5 partnerships. Actually, hang on a second. Let me just write this down for you. Okay. So just say 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Yeah, exactly, Amy. That's well done. That's exactly it. You need to figure these things out. But actually, so there's a process, right? There's a process of figuring things out, and also testing and exploring and putting stuff out there, not feeling like I can't share any content right now until I've really nailed the niche work, because actually the niche work takes some time as well. It's a process of exploration, and it can definitely evolve, and it only evolves and you only get the answers by putting content out there, actually, so by actually starting to share. I always say, start with your passions, start with what you're really passionate about and start sharing that, and then allow the niche work to evolve and go through the process of discovering and defining. Okay, so, you know, a really great mindset to have as an entrepreneur, as a yogipreneur, is to feel like the scientist in the lab, right? We're experimenting, and we're not afraid to get messy on this journey. We're not afraid to make a bit of mess. We're experimenting and we're learning, but ultimately we're taking action. We're doing things. Yeah, we only learn from doing. Okay, step 3 then. And step 3 is about serving your online community. Okay, so ultimately, this is about, if we go back to that funnel, it's about, you know, you seamlessly transitioning your community into your paid online offerings. Okay, so to make sales online and to grow your business, we need to be able to actually create offerings that go beyond the drop-in class. So I mentioned this at the beginning, but this is about providing ways for your students to work with you on a deeper level, right? So do you guys have any ideas for what you could create that isn't a Zoom drop-in class? There's something else, you know, that's going to help to provide more value, provide some transformation for your students, provide real results. So any ideas, what's coming up for you? A coaching group, love that. What could that look like? Yeah, mental health tools. Okay, so like online tools that they can, like quizzes and surveys and things like that. Is that online quizzes? 9-week program, yeah, package, perfect. So like online workshops, memberships, retreats, you know, maybe you want to host retreats. That could be in person or online, courses, programs, anything that's going to allow your students to go deeper, right? And allow you to help them solve their pain points, you know, address the challenges, the problems that they might be experiencing by providing this solution and providing a greater way to work with you that isn't just the drop-in class. It's helping you to retain them, to go on a journey of discovery, yeah, through this challenge that they might have, get them to where they really want to be. And business is about solving problems and providing solutions. That's what business is. That's what we do as businesses. We solve problems of our customers. We provide solutions. Like big businesses have, you know, big product development and customer research teams where they're really focused on how can this product solve a specific problem? How can we provide a solution? That's what businesses are. You know, that's what we're doing. And so, you know, your higher priced offerings, things that aren't the $10 drop-in class or whatever it might be, your higher priced offerings do that. They allow you to solve those problems. And just to give you an example, you know, if you want to earn 50K a year, let's say, that's 4K a month, right? So you have to do a lot, you have to teach a lot of classes to earn that money. Yeah, someone work out, anyone got a calculator? How many classes do you have to teach based on what you're being paid? You know, what are you being paid right now to teach a yoga class in a studio, let's say? What are you being paid, guys? Tell me in the chat. If you're teaching in studios, what are you being paid? How many, if you need to earn 4K a month, work out, do a simple calculation, divide it. How many classes do you need to teach? Yeah, so we need to put our business hat on. So this is where it goes back to those goals, right? This goes back to step 1, doesn't it? Goal setting. This is why you need to know the numbers. Yeah, what do you need to create and offer? What is the price of it? And how many do you need to sell in order to reach your revenue goal? Okay. So we're not just focusing on teaching in studios or just having, you know, drop-in Zoom classes. You're really looking at building your own online business, and that requires a different business model, right? That isn't the studio teaching model. You know, an online business model requires you to create these online assets in your business that you can sell again and again. You know, the online workshops that you teach live, that becomes a piece of content you can put onto your website, you know, that helps you to create some passive income when you add it into your sales for email funnel. Again, it probably sounds over the head, but they're quite simple they're quite simple concepts once you get into this business education, which you've just made the first step to do that, right? You're here now, so you're learning about this, and we can learn anything that we want to learn. So we're looking at how can we create online assets, products that we can sell again and again. And it's about doing things differently. You know, this is how we build the financial stability. Like, this is scalable. You know, it's you finding a way to not have to trade your time for money. So when you turn up to a studio, you're trading your time for money. And this different way, of course, takes time. You know, it takes learning. It's about gaining new knowledge. It's about taking action. When it feels scary and when you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have all the answers here. So are you feeling excited about creating these different offerings? Tell me how it feels to be able to create something where you could work with your students for a longer period and really see their, you know, transformation, you know. And this serving of our community, which is step 3, is really about understanding, what are these offerings? What research do I need to do to really, you know, validate my ideas that I have? You know, that's an important step as well. And the other part of this is really learning how to, you know, create the marketing copy, that converts, you know, being able to actually sell, because selling is serving, right? It's serving our community with the offerings that we have. So in order to do that, we have to sell to them. So it means, you know, learning how to create that sales copy, you know, learning how to actually launch our offerings, how to create this simple automated email funnel, that does your marketing for you. And so these are things that, you know, we can have, that we can create in the future. And, you know, being able to, the final part of serving, which is step 3 that we're on right now, is about retaining our students. Okay, so we don't want someone just to come into a workshop with us and then we never see them again, right? We want to be able to increase the value of that relationship in terms of the value that we offer to them, the results that we can offer, and the value they offer back, that exchange, okay, which is the revenue that you're generating from that exchange that allows you to, enables you to do more in your business and to be able to create more and to be able to serve more people. Okay, so retention is another part as well. Okay, we've covered everything. We've covered the 3 steps, and you can see there's a lot to learn, right? There's a lot to learn. How are you guys feeling about all of this? There's a lot to learn, isn't there? Right? There's a lot. Excited, but overwhelmed. Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to quickly, 1 second. In fact, there's a little slide deck, which I haven't shared, but I'm going to share it with you, Lizzie, and then you could share it afterwards so people can access that. And it just goes through the 3 steps. It goes through the 3 steps. It's just 3 simple slides and the strategies under each. So you guys can get that with the replay. Okay. Let's have a look. So this was great. I'm excited to get started. Yeah, very helpful identifying. Yes, it's a lot, but it's doable because it makes sense. Yes, thank you, Irene. And you can see how things link, right? You can see how all of these things link up, right? And that's it. We want these things to link up. There's a lot to learn, guys. But, you know, as I said, as yoga teachers, you've already learned a lot, right? You've already learned. And this is a 3-step process that I've taught you today. And it's the process that we teach inside one of our programs. Okay, so I want to quickly show this to you guys. And I do have a discount code for you, as you are the community of beYogi, and beYogi are one of our very valued partners who we work with. So I want to just share my screen with you very briefly. Thank you for still being here with me. 1 second, let's do this. And if you want to go and take a look at this, the URL is yogipreneurlaunchpad.com. Super simple. Make it easy, right? Okay, so this is the webpage that you will come to. And this program is for those of you who are just starting out online, right? So all of you shared with me, at the beginning that you're either a new teacher or you're just starting to kind of move away from the studio and you want to build your own business. This is the program that we offer. It's a 16-week program, and it goes through everything that I've taught you today, that I've outlined, all of the strategies that I've talked about. It goes through all of those things, and it goes deep into how to create your offerings as well, how to sell them, how to launch them. So I invite you to take a look at this and grab a cup of tea, very English, grab a cup of tea or a juice and just take some time to read through this. I'm not going to read through it all, but take some time to read through it. And if you have any questions about the program, feel free to reach out to me. You can send us a message on Instagram, or you can send me an email at hello@digitalyogaacademy.com. And I teach you this framework inside this program. There's also live mentorship and support for 16 weeks. So what that looks like is access to a Facebook group, and also access to 16 weeks of live Q&A mentorship calls. Okay, so I have a team of mentors who take those calls, and it's your opportunity you can submit questions if you can't join the call live, or you can get on the call live and get that support from my mentors. And there's accountability, and there's a community inside the Facebook group as well. So there's 11 modules that get drip fed out over the 16-week process. 16-week period, and there's some integration weeks included as well. And yeah, it takes you through these 3 steps that we've talked through today. Okay, so in here you can see there's 11 modules, and you'll see the different modules. So if you look at this, build a solid business foundation. Step 1 is the mindset. Step 2 is the business plan. Step 3 is the niche work. Okay, so these are the steps that we've gone through today on this session, and these are our mentors. So go and have a read of all of that, and there's a lot of bonuses that you also get access to as well, guys. So take a look at the bonuses, lots of content for you. You have lifetime access to all of the content. Okay, so the 16 weeks is essentially the live calls and support, but the content itself, you have lifetime access to it. When I do upgrades of the content, which I do, you'll get access to that as well. There's a summit in there. There's another kind of summit that I did last year. And there's a Reels masterclass, there's templates, and there's various different masterclasses in there as well. Okay.
Sign me up, Kelly. It's amazing. And
there's some
so
videos.
inspiring.
Thank you. So this really is our flagship kind of signature program. We have teachers coming into this program every single day. It's an evergreen program, right? So you'll learn about that when you come into this program. But this is an evergreen course that you can sign up to any day of the week, any day of the year. It's available, and you're straight in for your 16 weeks of live support and to access the content. I have a team, a student success team, who are here to support you. They reach out to you, see how you're getting on. And we're really focused on getting you through the content, getting you to the finish line, and really, you know, helping you to get yourself online and achieve that transformation, which of course is you building your community, making money, creating impact. You can join at any time, and there's a code to get $200 off, which is Yogi. Make it easy, right? And the standard price of the program is $1,200. Okay, so you get $200 off. There's also payment plans. That code works for the payment plans as well, guys. There's a 12-month payment plan to spread it out. Again, making it super easy for you to come into this program and gain this knowledge, right? Because as I've said, you know, and it's clear, you know, without this business knowledge, how do we create the impact that we really want to create as a yoga teacher? How do we get our message out there? How do we break through all of these, you know, challenges where we feel like we've got so much to share, but there's not enough people to share it with, right? So is there any questions for me? I know I've talked a lot. It's your turn now. Is there any questions for me, guys? Thank you so much for being here with me.
And while people are writing in questions, I do want to remind everyone we will send out this replay tomorrow, so you can rewatch it. We will also, in the email with the webinar replay, include links and things to connect with Kelly, you know, ask more questions and learn about her awesome program that is just really fleshed out well. So thank you, Kelly, for sharing that and giving us a little bit of a discount. That's really, really amazing.
Thank you.
We'll wait a couple more seconds to see if any questions come in, but thank you again, Kelly, for taking the time today.
I love this. So it's great. I'm in my element right now, so it's great. But yeah, I mean, we have lots of support for you guys. I have a podcast called the Yogipreneur podcast. If you go onto the website digitalyogaacademy.com, there's a quiz that you can do that's gonna provide you with some resources based on where you're at in your business as well. But ultimately, to get the hand-holding and to get the real support that helps you to move through the challenges when you're learning, okay, the program is the one. You know, coming into the program is really going to kind of catapult your success, really, you know, and what you're doing. I love your podcast. Thank you so much, Neruba. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, thank you so much for being here. We will hopefully lots of people will connect with you and ask questions and get to know you more. So again, we will be sending this out all tomorrow with information, links, and all of the above. Enjoy the rest of your evening, everyone, wherever you are, or morning. And we will see you guys next time.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.